just, I don't know, I might have it all wrong here, but just this little patch here, it's probably got a few things going with it, but being a high traffic area with road trains coming out around there, but this big tree in there taking a bit of moisture. But I'm thinking that little patch there might be what it would be like in a dry year.
Yep.
That's all I'm thinking. And then the lupins and the radish haven't gone so well, but there's a reasonable amount of wheat out in that bit there. But then where there's no constraint, because there's obviously some sort of a constraint there.
You walking out there, man?
You really appreciate the height of it when you're walking in amongst it.
One thing I'm noticing here, your radishes don't seem to be pushing up out of the ground like mine are. Is that because they've been in this system for a while? Or? Well, that one there is.
Yours might have been planted a bit earlier than ours or something too, maybe. So
yeah, now I'm getting out here. They are pushing up. So maybe just a maturity thing. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes, have a crack at this.
But you're not going to complain about any of those lupin plants, are you?
God, no.
And what about in here?
Yeah, look at how fresh and...
A bit of vetch in here.
Yeah, what's been sown here, Darren?
So it was the day after the other one, so the 16th of April. Wheat, vetch, radish and lupins.
Yeah.
4 ways. And then set and forget, it hasn't been sprayed or anything since. Yeah, interesting you say about the tubulars coming out of the ground. I reckon there's 7 different crops we've had of it. It's behaved differently every year.
Is it really?
Yeah. Last year there wasn't one above the ground, was there? Oh, the year before, 2022.
In that really wet year, they all stayed there.
Yeah, whether it was a sowing date, wet weather.
When it's wetter, it's easy to push in the ground.
Yeah.
No, I just thought it might have been like I'm sort of new to all this.
But
and the crop
have a look at
ground might be quite compacted. You look at that one sort of going sideways.
Yeah, you.
If something come along and maybe a root trot on him or something.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah, good plants, aren't they?
Yeah. So it was sown at the kilo to the hectare, the radish, the same as up the back there.
Oh, so you sold a kilo?
Yeah.
Hold it up, man. Thing is, if it hadn't have gone sideways, you'd never have pulled it out of the ground.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, you might have.
Yeah, but when the ground's dry, they hang on, don't they?
Might have been in here before.
Stop running the tuber though, don't they? I'll see them just...
Yeah, they're different stages. One time they'll run for this, next minute it's only that.
Yeah, you'll just see them shaved off at ground level.
Yeah.
There is a wheat crop over there.
Any idea what the radish actually yields when you grade it? You're talking hundreds of kilos to the hectare.
1 year I sowed it at like a canola crop, monoculture, when we were after those 3 years of drought, and it looked like it should have been a tonne an acre. Canola. And then I was expecting that for the radish. It was only 30 hectares or something, and it wouldn't have done a bag. Yeah. Like it's not a massive yielder.
Look at this plant here though, look at the size of the pods.
But he's only
got
5 seeds in it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Where's your calculator, buddy?
They're big seeds compared to a canola.
I've got a calculator. What do we want?
3.5
3.5.
times 18%.
0.035.
Kilos to, tonnes to the hectare of radish seed.
And what's that worth?
Wholesale or retail?
5,500.
That's a ton, $5.50 kilo.
Yeah, that's he had that in tons.
Yeah.
That should give you dollars.
Yeah, it's not as many as I thought. 192.
No, that must be wrong then.
Give it to me again.
Oh,
Stop, you might charge us more.
3.5.
3.5 by 18%.
Yeah.
So you want 18% of 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 0.63.
Yeah. So 0.63 times 5,500.
Well, $3,200 roughly.
34.65.
Dollars
What?
per hectare.
Oh yeah.
I'll divide that by 2.
What do you want half? 1790.
These are
32.
healthy lupin plants, aren't they?
Yeah. And there's a few pods on there.
Oh yeah. Just can you tell from the number of pods roughly?
There would be. No, you probably can, but I've never looked too far into it.
But as you say, next year.
And where were you
could
from
be
before you moved?
crop, and this might
to
be
here?
the bonus.
Gilgandra. Where we've always been pretty broke, so we can't afford to do the fancy stuff all the time.
You got Martin.
I got him. Darren and I couldn't have done all of this without doing it together. That's the guts of it.
But it does. The crop seems fresh here, and it's had the same rain as conditions as everywhere else, where it's drying off.
Water wouldn't have sat there.
But look at it. Yeah, exactly. All the way across, isn't it?
What's
Yeah.
the history of the paddock? Has it had 3 years of this or what?
We've been here for 20 years, and it's been cropped every year. And last year was barley. The year before that was wheat, I think.
So it's been mostly monocultures then, to the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible result for the first time you've put a mixed species one in it.
So
And friendly
this is
for
what I'd call a mixed species cash crop, and it was just the whole fallow process was the same as all our commercial wheat, and then we just use this seed instead of wheat. Yeah. And that's just whatever wheat was sown at the time that was in the truck. I think it's something flex or something. It wasn't just hand picked for a special variety or anything. In the monoculture stuff, it's all been sprayed for rust.
So are you using seed dressing on your commercial crops?
No, Martin's always keeps talking about doing that sort of stuff, but I just keep it simple.
Well, that's what I mean. It's pretty good, pretty disease-free crop.
What you're saying is you use pure seed, you don't put chemical.
I've never used pickle in my life.
Really? In your life, even?
Nothing wrong
This is the
with
first year I haven't used it.
Yeah, I know.
I could have been saving myself a lot of money. Well, different environment too, I guess.
Oh, if anything, it's
Say
a
what
negative.
works here, you're going to work apart.
You got to sow it half as deep once you put pickle on it and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's it. I did notice it got out of the ground a little this year.
Yeah.
So, but,
I was just saying to James, you wouldn't want to put a mob of lambs in here.
Yeah.
You'd never find them, would you?
Yeah. They'll make pretty good silage, I'd reckon. Our monoculture lupins that had a big grub infestation, but I can't see any in here. It hasn't been sprayed.
And with this happening here, they ran out of oomph? Is that what
Yeah, I
that
would have
means?
thought so. Yep. Inch of rain last week would have secured it. But we probably want it to cut out soon.
Oh, those little things there, Jason.
oh, the flower, where the flowers are.
Flowers.
The
I just
borders.
saw- yes.
Yeah. The same will happen here on these ones.
Lupins are the same.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a pretty good stem.
I'd be pretty happy with that.
Oh,
Favour beans. Favour beans are the worst.
Did you come from Dubbo today?
Park.
Oh yeah, but
I
you
cut
come
across
from
the
Narromite?
Yeah. I saw the mung beans on the
No,
favour beans on
favour
the
beans on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Have they died or they've got
Oh, there.
Mullen-Gudgery?
No,
There was another lot back
they'd only be 3 weeks off harvest,
Oh, so they've just
cutting out.
cutting out.
Yeah, there was some
Bloody
just
hell,
back near Narromine, nowhere near Monoculture, weren't there? Some back near just this side of Narromine Airport, only a 10k out or something I saw.
Oh.
There's some at Monoculture as well, is the opposite of them.
Yeah, just there somewhere.
Ningen side.
You know, they were looking a whole lot different.
They're all winter in our multi-species. I use the stuff from Grant Sims, about 14-way mix.
Oh yeah.
All winter in this fantastic mix. The, what do you call those things then?
Favours.
Favours, they come up fairly erect. Sheep left them for ages and then suddenly got to about August and they went round the whole lot. And I've locked it up now.
Yeah, yeah.
They seemed to just leave it. I thought, oh, they mustn't like them or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But then they took the whole lot out within about a week.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd eaten everything else. Was that the story?
No, the feed was a foot, 18 inches high.
right.
And medics and oats and all sorts of things.
I heard you talking in the car about mixing the seed, whatever. So my SC's got 3 bins. One was a compost, the other one was just lupins, and then the wheat. With the wheat, we tipped the radish seed in. So you know it's going to sell 100 hectares. You've got to get 4 bags in before it's full, and then the vetch we tipped it in the fert. Had the bulker bag above the fert as it was going in. The
Oh, really? Put it in with the fert.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, I thought you just pre-mix it all in a vertical mixer, and it just has it like the auger goes out over the air. So.
Yeah, I bought that agitator to do the same thing, but I only did it once. It's too much about moving the auger and everything else.
Thanks for telling me. I've just got a board at agitator.
Yeah.
Could have bought yours cheap.
But that idea with the fert's a good idea because really, if it's a small, that's another way.
Put all your small seeds, but if you had a heap of little fancy ones, you could soon mix 3 bags together on the ground and just tip it in the ones. Like if you had lucerne and radish and like all your kilo stuff, you could soon.
I got double shoot as well, so I was sticking the small stuff out to the back one.
Oh yeah.
And the front one was just taking the fert, and the other thing
Yeah.
it's a 4-bin cut.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea.
Yeah. My idea is where those 5 are in the row, we'll have an elevator underneath, and then we'll just open the door at a percentage each.
No, right, so it'll be your mixed species setup. Yeah.
Coming out.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're looking at expanding it by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Our biggest restriction for doing more hectares is being able to deal with it all.
Yeah. I'll deal with the end product.
End product. Yeah.
So Martin's got to pull his weight and
Yeah. Oh,
invest
anyway.
in some bigger gear.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll get out of monocrops?
Oh, there's potential.
Yeah.
I tend to go where the money is. So if this is paying it, can't see why we'd have the other. Yeah.
So what'll come into here after this one?
Not sure yet. Haven't thought that far ahead. But I think anything would grow. Whatever we grow next year will be good. Yeah, yeah.
And you're not going to be as concerned, you know, if you haven't got the disease break concerns
got
that
our-
we've always worried about with monocultures, have we? Because
We've got a rotation every year.
it's just dealing with itself every year, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
You probably better go on holidays after you plant it and don't look at it. Let it do its own thing.
Self-organising systems. You know, how much stuff is going on in here under the soil with all the interaction with these?
We can't see, isn't it? And that's probably, we'll never know, I guess, other than the results.
But it is going.
Yeah.
And the question, have you seen a better crop? And you drive today?
No.
No, I've seen a better crop. This is just what you dream about.
Yeah, if you wanted to talk biomass, it's certainly.
This is all about diversity. Diversity is where it's at. Diversity is where it's at. We're dumb. Dumbest thing we do is grow monoculture crops. It's just dumb, dumb, dumb. And nobody will stand up and say that in front of a big mob of monoculture croppers. If you go home from this day here and you haven't got something completely changed up in your program for next year, buddy, you know, I want to know why.
Scale up.
I'll be able to scale up, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
'Cause I'll tell you what, it's bloody impossible to scale up where I am.
Yeah. Last place we bought was 700 an acre, so it's still not deer.
And I mean, well, but that would be
Recently.
deer compared to
Recently.
what was it 20 years ago?
75 when the first came in.
Yeah, so it's like it's probably gone up more proportionally than Parks Country has, hasn't it? When you think about it.
What do they rate country here?
Excellent. Excellent.
After the excellent DSEs, like is the country a DSE per acre, like sheep DSE to a normal grazing acre, or is it less than that?
I don't know about the statistics, but what I reckon our native stuff would be about 1 sheep to the hectare.
Okay.
So how much did you say was it that place sold for an acre?
700.
All right. So
So-
2.5 times that.
Yeah, 1750.
That's about right.
1750 a DSC, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I reckon across
It'd probably
the
be.
state as a generalisation, and you know, it goes up and down, but 1500 to 1700 is about what it is.
Really?
And when you
Doesn't matter
say
where you go.
DSE in fancy terms, that's only a 40 kilo sheep, but I'm talking a 60 kilo sheep round the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're up there then.
Yeah,
That would halve it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Half
if
the
that's
cost.
The case, no.
Yeah.
Well, a merino use sort of 2.5 to DSC at least, isn't she? Across the years.
Crossbreed would be three and a bit. So it probably is a DSC without it.
Yeah, in those
Yeah.
terms, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Darren.
So $700 a DSC then.
But what about when you start growing some paddocks like this and bloody doing some managed grazing across it?
You're starting to make money.
Hey?
You're making money.
So you're saying it's possible to graze a paddock like this and still have it as a cash crop, like as a grain crop?
Oh, probably. Well, it all depends.
We've done it before.
Yeah, we
Strip grazed
yeah,
it, then harvested
that
it.
paddock over there, Darren had wanted to see how strip grazing was, and ended up surprising himself about how easy it was rather than difficult. And that was pickets and wire too.
Yeah, same as the electric fence.
Oh, so
We
you weren't
jumped
using
over it.
tread-ins?
No.
Yeah, right.
We saw those tread-ins the other day down at Vic No Till, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that system, I saw it 20 years ago. What's not Spider?
The one that walks across the paddock.
No. You want to see their wind-up system. It suits you down the ground with a four-wheel side-by-side, electric winders, and he did 400 metres in about 3 minutes, winding it up. You had to see this to believe it.
It was outstanding, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
What was that doing at a no-till? What was that doing at a no-till conference?
Well, the interesting
They're
thing,
normally not into
No,
into
they
stock,
are.
those guys.
They're into livestock.
there was virtually no one there except Grant Sims, who was running livestock.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's.
5 years ago I went to a
Yep.
no-till conference.
Samson had the same story last night.
At the start, asked, he said, who's in the audience, how many are croppers, how many have got stock, and more than 50% of the croppers
We're
had
back into
stock.
stock with them.
They're using stock in conjunction in the manner that you are.
Yeah.
But that's a huge move in 5 years.
Well, it is because they, it was all about keeping the stock off your cropping country.
2 years ago, River and Group, who's got 450 financial members, River and Plains Group down there at Vanilla Finley, they did a study, and the most financially beneficial enterprise on a property was grain mixed with livestock. Hello. They were only doing it.
Yeah. Mixed farming.
Cattle might, but sheep don't. Except for that little crust, you can go straight in, and that's my.
No livestock taken down management though.
Yeah, it's the livestock management. Grazing management. Like we got so many places we can go with grazing management, but at the end of the day, it's all about diversity is going to be the big driver. Diversity is the driver. See, so monoculture grain croppers can get straight in. You're in the game right here. All you do, mix 4 things together and plant it. You're in the diversity game. Don't worry about spraying it. You're on a 15-way mix. All of it come out of your own silos. Darren doesn't buy any seed to go into this mix.
Funny enough, years ago, the old PDO headers had the Hannaford screens on them. Well, that was like taking a small seeds box. It was taking it out. You had it on.
Oh, yeah. That was just your screenings. Oh, that's a Hannaford machine is what I got up there in the shed.
Oh, that's your green machine.
Yeah. The important thing is to figure it out how it works for your system. Like I'm never going to say, go and do your whole farm. Like even here, we haven't even got any country into a regular system yet that we would say this is a regen system. We've just been doing stuff, bits and pieces. But that's not to say we can't ever get to there. But it's mixing and matching and making it work. If we're going to get some carbon back into this country, this is how we're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. This is a great leap forward for Darren, though. I mean, you can go on and start on your next paddock or paddocks, isn't it? This must give you a lot of confidence that things are really working. I know it's an exceptional year.
Oh, this.
It's not the first time we've done this, though.
We would have, we'd have 4 or 5 like this, wouldn't we, over the years?
Well, the other thing is that the mixed species, we've never had a failure. We never got cleaned up with a mixed species crop. And then like last year, In a shitty year, it was our most profitable planted crop for the year. And then the year before that, with that seed where you guys got from, and was in the before that.
That would have been something similar to this.
Yeah, similar to this, and it's off the chart. It's off the chart the dollars you make out of it. And like we always had this, grandiose thing that one day we'll harvest 40 or 50 tons of radish seed. Wouldn't that be great? We're patting each other on the back. Yeah, that would be great. Well, anyway, we did it, and we've nearly sold it all. Made a hell of a difference to my life.
Just as well you're going to have some more this year by the sound of it.
Well, all things being equal, this should be as good. Anyway, who's taking bets on what it'll do?
And I went onto this place and they were using grazing canola, which I'd not seen before at that stage. And this guy said, so I said, you're grazing it, what's the yield going to be like? He said, we'll get the best yields we've ever had. And over a period of 5 years, and this is a monoculture, their yield was better from the canola than it had ever been historically. And yet they'd got a graze out of it, finished their land.
Oh.
So my question is, using that, how long could you consider grazing this? You've sown it, you've had some moisture, it comes up. Yes, young's a more favoured climate, but how much use can you get out of this before you'd need to pull them out?
For a grain recovery? Yeah. I think you'd treat it like any grain dual purpose crop. Yeah. I'm not sure how, because they like the radish so much, how much it would come back. But you'd be plenty of other stuff
but
that
once
would.
again manage the radish.
Yeah. Or it can be a grazing canola, if in that situation.
The lupins, they'll tend to walk around, won't they? And they'll eat, they'll probably eat the black oats and the wheat and everything, the grasses before they'll eat the lupin. Yeah. Well, that's what I've found, to stop getting the lupin.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of options that we've got there with, early planting, and then people say, what about the frost? Well, if you want to slow the crop down, run a graze over it for a couple of weeks or a month. And buddy, if you want to do it in a step rotational graze type thing to get better utilisation or whatever, they're all options. Yeah, those boys have with wild oat resistance and ryegrass resistance, they've been doing a lot of grazing down in that country, because otherwise the sheep go in and tidy up their oats and.
So that's the main reason they've got.
Yeah.
Just from a herbicide resistant point of view.
Yeah. And they get a graze out of it. They tidy up their buddy, because when the sheep go in there, they don't want to just eat all the wheat out of your paddock. They like diversity too. So they eat a bit of the wheat, but they clean up all those little weeds in that first, and they give it a quick fertilise. All organic fertiliser.
You mentioned strip grazing a while ago. Was it Darren or Martin? But how are you managing the water there, Darren?
Water truck.
Yep.
Yeah, water truck and just moved it along.
Move it along the boundary from the outside fence.
Yep. Yeah, was that where we looked at the silk sorghum?
Yep.
The year before we sowed it.
Yeah, it was that crop in there.
And we had the truck on the road we drove along, just moved along. Yeah, they actually didn't, through the winter they didn't drink much, like 30,000 litres of water might have taken 3 weeks empty.
Yeah, right. Wow. I reckon the shitters would probably go a bit harder than that.
Yeah, well they do.
It's sort of the downside with what I'm trying to do. But,
It's interesting, where we had smaller paddocks years ago, if we had a sick sheep we'd put in a paddock, and they'd always walk around there. And they'd always eat all the rocky knobs or the grass around the fence or contour banks before they started on the wheat crop and the barleys. So they'd only put them in a mob of stock in a paddock. Yeah. And Lucen's the same, quite sour to them till they take the other things out. My manager.
And it's still sour to them, they just got nothing else to eat.
Yeah. My manager used to be on the road over near Castle, droving, and he said you'd watch the stock. They'd go along and eat everything around the lucerne for starters, because the Shire used to plant them in the sides of the road, and he'd be sitting on a horse just watching this, and he says it's quite sour, they don't like it.
No, that's lucerne.
Well, in the Mediterranean, it's only 15% of the plant population. That's where it is naturally from, lucerne.
Yep.
And so, obviously, but have you ever tried getting rid of the last lucerne plant? No.
It's not bad as long. 15% it probably works, because it's got a deep root, it's bringing goodies up, sequestering carbon, getting some moisture down. 15% is probably the percentage it should be. And,
It's the one thing that gets overgrazed though, isn't it? Oh, loosened paddock.
well, no, that's wrong.
Is it?
It's everything that's around the lucerne that gets
sorry.
because they won't eat the frigging lucerne.
Well, what I mean is loosened paddocks get overgrazed and get left very bare.
Then the crown rises up.
But is that the lucerne's fault or the fella who's
Well, it's the management.
managing the grazing? But then, like my brother grows lucerne in Canada for seed, so I'm well around the lucerne story. Don't worry. But how cool is it? I'd only want it in any of these. I'd only want it in this country at 1 plant per square metre. Maybe not even that per 3 square metres or something. You know.
Would it, lucerne in particular, because it puts out those endophytes, would it, at that ratio, would that hurt the stuff around it?
Oh, I don't know.
Because you can't, I've tried...
Alleliopathy and all these sort of things. I bloody don't know how much I buy any of that stuff. Just bloody keep
sewing lucerne back into lucerne, it'll never work.
Oh.
You scratch lucerne up with some harrows, it'll shoot again. But you've normally got to put oats or something into it, and it'll thicken up a bit. But you can never get more lucerne to start again.
Yeah, right. But part of that is that lucerne is so drying of the soil. Like even Alan Clandy, when he used to grow lucerne over there, they'd plough it out one year and not expect any crop hardly any crop in the first year out of lucerne because it had just dried the country out so damn hard. And it took the next year for it to bloody get wetted up again from where the lucerne had dried it out. But that was good, real thick lucerne strikes. But again, if we we got to take that out of our mind because we're talking about diversity. Yeah. And then diversity, and then we're diversity summer, winters, and all that sort of thing. That's when we're having fun, is when we really move forward on the diversity front.
What would be your, in your conventional cropping, Darren? What's the sort of worst weed out here? What's the most prolific winter sort of growing weed?
Generally, it's broadleafs in the first 5 or 6 years. Yeah. We don't really do ryegrass, and
you get cut a lot of cape weed or not? Or what?
No, got a bit of mustard and
Fleabane?
fleabane can be in the summertime. Clovers and crow's foot, and then a little bit of barley grass at times. Black oats as you're 10 years into the monoculture, I guess.
Yeah. Grows tall, black oat.
Doesn't yield that well, I don't think, does it?
Not probably for seed, but buddy, put a mob of cows in there and you don't see the bastards for a long time. So that's the mixed species, my men.
So I might leave you guys then.
Righto.
Oh,
No worries.
thanks, Darren.
No worries,
Thanks
good
for
to
your
meet you.
time.
Yep,
Thanks, Darren.
no worries.
Really appreciate it. Showing
Not a
us.
problem.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Thanks, Darren.
You heading off, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Catch you later.
Right, thanks very much.
No worries. Enjoy.
No, that's good.
All right.
Great to see it in the flesh.
Yep.
Not just to hear Martin speaking.
You've got to believe him now.
Yeah.
No worries.
Righto, catch ya.
Great.